and you're inside My Fix It Up Life, and today we're talking about knocking it down, ripping it up, tearing it down, cutting it up. What's up? Give me some power.
I don't think I'm going to be able to strap Mark in today, but we have awesome guest Chris Lambton from Yard Crashers. We have Jason Cameron from the show called Sledgehammer. We've got Sawdust Girl. We have Alison, who you might know from DIY Network, and it's all happening today
on My Fix It Up Life. Sanding walls before you paint? Do it the Hyde way, not the hard way, with Hyde's dust-free sander. Attach to your wet dry vac and go. No drywall dust on your furniture, no tough cleanup when you're done. Buy online at Amazon.com. You're back inside My Fix It Up Life. This is my wife, Teresa.
And this is my husband, Mark.
We are talking about demo.
We are.
Knocking it down, ripping it up, tearing it to pieces. And one thing I like to say about Demolition.
What's that?
It's adrenaline-soaked, it's strong back, weak mind, and it is easy to get really wrong if you take the strong back, weak mind, adrenaline-soaked approach to it. You can't just go flying in there. No. I got my fists out. I am so amped.
No, you can't just go right in there and just rip it and think you're gonna, be able to build it all back in the same amount of time as it takes you to take it all down, because it's not gonna happen. Crazy things happen, and it's like you never know what's behind the wall, even if maybe if you built it yourself.
Well,
if you're taking down walls that you've already built, well, there you go.
Well, if you're a physicalist. Not everyone knows what that is. Physicalist? Einstein was one. Come on. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, that's a physicalist. Is that a theoretical physicalist?
It's a hermeneutical. For example, if you're pounding on a bathroom wall that you're tearing apart, you have to remember that on the other side of that wall, the wall you're not tearing apart is, say, your child's bedroom or a guest room, and the pictures on that wall and whatever's attached to it are also getting pounded upon.
Yes.
Yes. Equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah, so we're talking today about, the new show Sledgehammer and Jason Cameron, because, you just see the name Sledgehammer, everybody wants to know what's going to happen because it's going to be super crazy cool. And we're also giving away an awesome tool today.
Rockwell Blade Runner.
Yes. And you know what? Right now, my favorite comment is actually from our guest later on today, Sawdust Girl.
Oh,
follow her on Twitter. You have to.
Asterisk, not allowed to win.
Yeah. Her comment was, let someone else do it. And specifically, Jason Cameron from Sledgehammer. I would invite him over to do some demo.
If you're going to get it done right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to get a lot of it done, because that guy is in tear-it-up shape.
He is. Well, he's like a fitness model, too.
I don't think he's a fitness model. I think
wait. Because he's a man, you can't say fitness.
He did that once in his life. Now he's just fit.
All right.
It's not like walking around saying, hey, take a picture of my fitness.
Well, if you did see him in real life, you'd be like, that guy's pretty handsome.
Yes, in the Rockwell Blade
Runner. But we also have
Runner
another super handsome guy on today.
Me?
We're going to go out in the backyard, and we are going to talk about demoing in the yard, not just inside the house, with another pretty handsome guy.
I'm not listening.
Chris Lambton.
Oh, he is handsome. I got to give it up. He's so good-looking, I'm uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. And he buffets it with being hilarious.
He is pretty charming.
Oh, he's pretty now, too.
He's tall and handsome, and he's really good with tools. I think his wife, Peyton, is a very lucky lady.
Yes, she lucked out.
And he's kind, too.
He's a good guy. He's got all the pieces of the puzzle.
But then we're going to bring it with some girl power, too. Because Alison, who I love, admire, and kind of quietly maybe worship a little bit, because she's not only awesomely talented and handy, but she's also teaching kids how to actually use tools and all that. So, highs fives to her.
Each one, teach one.
Yes.
Yes, and we do need to bring up the next group, the next bundle, the next pack.
What's that?
Teaching them how to do it.
Oh, teaching kids. You know what?
Getting them in there, Chicken wasn't born wrapped in plastic, all the crap I usually say. It's about making stuff and building things and living that sort of analog steel on wood life that's so important and so easy to forget.
And you know what? We're giving away an awesome tool today. So anybody listening, watching, wherever you are, tweet us, Facebook us, whatever. I want to know your favorite demo tip or your favorite demo tool, because we're giving away the Rockwell Blade Runner X2. It's an awesome tool that you can like build everything with,
part
basically.
bandsaw, part table saw, part jigsaw, part scroll saw, part tile saw.
You can cut everything with it.
It's metal-tacular. You can cut pipes, PVC, the whole thing. It is a great DIY tool. We even used it cutting plexiglass on a project.
And we're going to be making some super cute wall art, Mark, aren't we?
Right after we make this break and take this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Add more curb appeal to your home.
Create a memorable entrance with Therma-Tru fiberglass doors and Fipon synthetic trim that won't warp, crack, or rot.
And give you those rich details that make your home a showpiece.
Make your great entrance by visiting Thermatru.com and Fipon.com.
That's our bumper elevator music to bring us back inside My Fix It Up Life in the most calm and peaceful way.
Yes.
Because it's going to get time to rip it. We're talking with Jason Cameron, DIY Network, about his new show and everything that goes around it. Sledgehammer.
Probably it's the best name of a show I've seen thus far on the DIY Network HGTV family. Sledgehammer.
Absolutely.
Because when you're scrolling through, you're like dump-a-dump-a-dump, trying to find something to watch, and you see Sledgehammer, you're like, okay, this is going to be absurd. What are they doing on this show?
Can I find a show where something happens? Oh, it's probably this one.
Something's going to get smashed. You know it is.
So, Jason Cameron, host of Sledgehammer, also Man Caves, also Desperate Landscapes. Why Sledgehammer? What's the gist of this new show that I see everywhere, by the way?
Well, first of all, you said it correctly, Mark, when you stated it. Sledgehammer. You said it with some authority. You can't just, say, oh, Sledgehammer. You got to Sledgehammer. So right off the bat, we got to get that straight. We got to make sure we say it right. Teresa, you did actually a pretty good job, Sledgehammer. But it is a show that, it pretty much speaks for itself, right? We're going to sledgehammer and destroy something in the show. So, but the gist of it is, I surprise a couple that they think they're being interviewed to be on a show, possibly be on a home improvement show, right? They have no idea. They're being interviewed as a bunch of other couples are, they think. And then I come storming in with two sledgehammers and tell them they got 30 seconds to pick their least favorite room and then 30 minutes to destroy it. So once the shock and awe wears off, because they have completely shocked them, they didn't know when they got up in the morning they'd be swinging a sledgehammer 3 hours later.
Holy
so once that wears off, they actually start swinging the sledgehammer and destroy their room, but they only have 30 minutes to do it, and if they don't do it in 30 minutes, then they're stuck with a mess, and I won't touch it.
So they're on the hook.
Shock and awe? You just had shock and awe on your face.
Yes.
Right
You're on. I knew that already.
I gotta know. Have you done this?
Well, you knew. All right. Well, that's good.
No, but I knew it, and it's still good.
But I have a very important question. Have you gone in, and there's a family that's like, we can't do that? We just don't feel comfortable with ripping our house apart right now?
We've had a couple close calls. That is a lot to take in a very short period of time, especially when you're being handed a sledgehammer. But they're so desperate and they so hate that room that supersedes everything else. So we have not had somebody yet deny or kick us out. Not to say that it won't happen. Who knows? But they've been amazing, and they've done an amazing job, and it's just fun to be a part of it and watch people that have probably never swung one in their lives actually try to swing a sledgehammer.
Well,
that's the thing too, is that a sledgehammer looks like it's fun to use, but it's heavy.
For 60 seconds.
No, but it's heavy, and if you're like having to destroy your entire room, they're sore afterwards. Like, they probably have to take all kinds of electrolytes and, like, go to the spa to relax because they're probably like walking around all tight and crazy, right? Can't stand up straight.
We hook everybody up to IVs for an hour beforehand, and we make them stretch. But no, it's it's a workout. Don't let it fool you because we appropriately, and we're not going to give everybody a 16-pound sledge. If they want us, we'll give them a 6-pound sledge. So we'll make sure they have the right appropriately sized sledgehammer. But it's a workout. There's no way around it. You're going to be sore. Some of these people have never been sore like this in their lives, but we don't give these away. There's some sweat equity involved, and if you want it bad enough, let's see, because I don't help. I want to, trust me, and the producers come up to me many times and said, you can't help, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I want to help them out. It's up to them. I'm there to make sure they don't bring the house down and to make sure everything's safe, but it's up to them to get it done. So it really is, they sweat, their heart rate's going, they're tired, but they get it done. Their want and their need for a new room supersedes all that.
Have you had anybody start to take a crack at a bearing wall and you have to say, stand by?
Yeah, well, the good thing is, and I get this question a lot, people often think, how do they just go in and start tearing a place up? We've done a lot of homework, and we did a lot of prep work unbeknownst to the couple, right? Because we got in there, because we're good at this, and we did all that we needed to do to assess the situation, know what they can hit and what they can't hit. Of course, we're going to explain that on the show, but we've already made all the disconnections. We've already disconnected, some pipes. We've already done all that. So really, we're just showing, and then we'll explain, when it comes to the point of knowing how to tell a structural wall from a non-bearing wall. Look for all utilities running in the wall, that kind of stuff. We'll describe that, but we've already done that work ahead of time, unbeknownst to them.
That is absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome.
And I've been on DIY Network's website, and you're like using a sledgehammer on the most ridiculous things to promote the show. That if you're listening, watching, and you haven't gone and watched him just sort of pulverize the most random stuff, like you get dressed up too for some of them.
Oh God, I knew you were going to bring this up. Yeah, one of them in particular was the disco one, which I'll never live down. Back, because I'm not going to date myself, but I remember back in the disco days. Mark, you're probably old enough, buddy. We go back to that time, but it's funny because you got to have fun, right? You got to play along, and these were random objects that we promoted the show with. One of which was a stack of VHS tapes that I did and I wasn't messing around. I did a full swing on this during the day of shooting on this because it was all in this warehouse, which had 20-foot high ceilings. And by the end of the day, this thing was plastered with peanut butter and jelly and milk and you name it, pudding. And it was so bad that the flies had gathered at the end of the day because it was everywhere. And I felt so bad for the owner of the shop. I'm like, I don't want to be here when he gets back because there's peanut butter on his light that's 20 feet up. Oh. But I hit a stack of VHS tapes, and during the replay, the slow motion, the tape in the middle of the stack shoots forward and actually goes through the plexiglass where the camera is. I'm not joking. If you watch this, you'll see that because it's in there. Went through the plexiglass. That's how hard I hit that stack, and I never thought it would happen. Nobody was hurt. But that was crazy. But that whole promo series was a crazy shoot.
That was hilarious. I saw like the Hormel chili. I think that's when I actually had to shut it off. It got to chili. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm out. That's too good.
We had everything but the chili. I think there was everything else in there. We could have made chili with the ingredients that we had in that place.
Well, quick subject change. You keep yourself in good shape. You're a fitness guy. And I've seen pictures on Facebook and wherever of people using sledgehammers in their workouts, pounding tires, like tractor tires and stuff. Is that part of your world before this?
It was actually. I know we were talking a little bit earlier, but when they approached me to do the show Sledgehammer, I had to laugh because not only do I use it in my professional career, but I use it in my fitness career, and it is part of my fitness routine. It's the unorthodoxy of training sometimes where you pick up everyday items or construction items like a sledgehammer, whether it's a 16-pound, and you just swing it at a tire. And that is part of our routine that we do, and I just thought it was funny when they approached me to do Sledgehammer. I'm like, oh, yeah, just did that an hour ago. So it is funny. But I tell you what, for those who have never tried it, and you'd be surprised, and I always tell people, try to swing a sledgehammer for 15 seconds straight. And you'd be surprised how out of breath and what a workout that is. So, yeah, it is a lot of shock and awe for people that have never swung one, because you're definitely going to feel it, no doubt.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, it's brutally hard. I haven't done that particular one, but I've chopped enough wood to be in that neighborhood.
It's the same thing. It's the same swing, same motion. It's working the same core, the same muscle groups. But it's a fun way to train. It gets you out of the gym, and we do a lot of things in the field. And that's part of it.
That's awesome. Now, for people who aren't lucky enough to be lied to get on Sledgehammer.
we do a very good job of lying.
And they want to take down a room in their house. Let's pick something basic, like the living room. It's got bad wallpaper or plaster, and they want to go back to the studs. Do you have some tips that people who don't have you standing in the wings can follow so that they actually don't make their life worse?
Yeah, you never want to just grab a sledgehammer and go crazy. Obviously, that's our first inclination. We want to tear this room apart, but there are certain there's an assessment involved you need to go through, right? You need to assess the walls. You need to go in the basement. If it is the first floor, you can tell a lot by going into the basement and looking up, seeing what's there. You can see a lot of things that might be running in the wall. Note where the electrical outlets are, because you have cables there. And anything that's obvious that you might know is running in that wall, any of your duct work, any of your vent lines, anything that might be running through. And then if you're still not sure, do exploratory holes. So cut holes in the wall first so you can look and see what's there. And then when you start actually sledgehammering, you got to make sure that that's not a supporting wall. If it is a supporting wall, that's okay, but you need to put up a temporary wall. So how do you tell if it's a supporting wall? First thing you want to look at is which direction the rafters are running as compared to the wall you're taking down. If it's running perpendicular, then that's a good sign that it might be a support. If it's running parallel, then you're probably safe. If it's running perpendicular, then you got to check that. Is it a double top plate? What I mean by that is the top 2x4, as you guys know, is it a double top plate? If it's a double top plate, that's an indication that it's a supporting wall. So these are all the things you need to look for, and you need to take those things seriously, because we have fun on the show. We like to destroy stuff, but there's a lot that goes into that before we actually, start that.
Well, I want to take all of that is gold, because I know there are people who, and we've seen this. The husband says to wife, we need a new bathroom. She says, okay. He literally goes in while she's at work and takes the joint down. Yeah. Only to have her come home from work and find that the house is full of what might be the worst problem on a lot of DIY is dust. Just gets everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't work for us.
No, it doesn't work for anybody. You lay down on your pillow, it's granular.
Well, these are important things, because, it's easy to go in and destroy a room. That's the easy part, right? I mean, I could go in and start swinging a sledgehammer all day long, but you've got to, it's your house. At the end of the day, you don't want to do more damage than you initially planned on doing. So checking those things is very important, taking the time to, and if you're not sure, and if you think you've done everything and you're still not sure, call somebody in. It's a simple call. Call a professional in, a contractor, and say, listen, I think I've checked everything. Is there anything I missed? And they might see something that you missed. It's worth it. But if you've done enough exploring, both in the basement, in the wall, you check the supporting, and then you're clear to go. But at the same time, you've got to do your due diligence and check those things.
So I have to ask, now that the show's been on the air, season 2, if that's happening, what are the people that you can't really fool them as good as you've been fooling them? Like, how are you going to disguise that? I'm just wondering, how can you...
Oh, yeah, now that the cat's out of the bag,
yeah,
so to
under
speak.
the pretense of something else that they're going to be on. Like, you totally have to have a couple of other shows going, so they think they're on that other one. So the decoy show.
Even before season 2, can you give away all your secrets?
Yeah, what are your secrets? It's okay, we won't tell anyone.
Sure, hold on, let me write these. Just a minute.
Yeah, let me jot this down.
That's a great question, Teresa, because I thought the same thing myself during the filming of the first season. It's great the first season because everybody's surprised. Second season, now that the show's out, people have seen it, they're going to be on the lookout, and something might ring a bell like, oh, this is that show, or this is, because you've seen the production staff as well on the show, right? Those have watched. So I don't know. That's a great question. I think that's something that we need to look at going forward, and if we need to bring in different people, if we need to, because it's not real hard to surprise people, believe it or not. I think as long as you're skilled enough and deceptive enough, I think you can fool most people. But some people will catch on, I'm sure. You're not going to be able to fool everybody, but the longer the show goes, the harder it's going to be.
I think you should totally.
So there is an element of whether or not we're going to be able to keep that going or not.
You should totally have like cameo appearances from like everybody else on DIY Network, so they think they're on that show. So like bring in.
You can have Jason Cameron from Desperate Landscapes come over.
You know him too?
Yeah, I know him.
He knows him. He knows the Desperate Landscapes guy. I bet he knows the Man Caves guy too.
I mean, talk about insult to injury, though. They've got a dumpy room, and their yard's a disaster. You're over there to do, like, look, man, just give up, okay? We're not choosing you.
Twofer. I can do a twofer. I mean, that's all right. We'll do the Sledgehammer. We'll do the Man Cave, and that's the next show. All three.
Now you are talking.
Man Cave, Sledgehammer, and the Desperate Landscape.
I think while you're doing the landscapes,
the Sledge Manscape,
then you should go inside and destroy a room in their house, and they go inside and they're like, what happened to our bathroom?
Yeah, you should destroy it and then leave it alone.
Totally.
All right, just bring Goose. I'll bring Goose with me. I'll work on the landscape. I'll have Goose go in and destroy it because that's pretty much all he's good at is destroying stuff, and then I got to clean up afterwards. So he's a wrecking ball. That's perfect. It's a perfect job for him. That'll work.
That's awesome. He can use his fists, and we have to use our feet to take a break.
He can punch out everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I've made him a cartoon character in my mind.
That's a totally different kind of punch list, darling.
Jason Cameron.
How do you? Can I ask you guys a question real quick? I'm just curious because I love my wife, love her to death, but I would never, on a daily basis, be able to work with my wife. So I give you guys a lot of credit to be able to work together this much time together, and you're still enjoying it. So I give you credit on that. Like I said, I love my wife, but we would not be able to work together on a daily basis like this. How do you guys do it?
Well, there's a white line painted right through the middle of the studio, and it goes right up behind us in an architectural feature.
And we get shocked if we go over the line, right, honey?
If there's anything.
All right, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Shock therapy.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I think the secret to a happy situation like we have is that laughter and not taking things so seriously. If you take things seriously, that's when people get crazy and don't get along.
Yeah, and we also love the same things besides each other. So we have that in common, talking to people about houses and building stuff and doing makeovers. We love that, and we would do that anyway, whether or not we're in love, so we get to share that with each other. It's fun.
We get to geek out together.
Well said, Mark. Well said.
That's my man.
You guys are going to have a great night tonight. Well said, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man.
But we have to go to break.
We do. Jason Cameron DIY Network. Follow him on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere.
Sledgehammer it.
And Google+. It's on. Jason, thank you. We'll be back with more My Fix It Up
Rebuilding Together believes that everyone deserves to live in a safe and healthy home. For nearly 25 years, Rebuilding Together has provided critical home repairs for low-income homeowners in need. With support from volunteers and skilled professionals, Rebuilding Together affiliates complete 10,000 rebuild projects every year, working to revitalize and stabilize vulnerable neighborhoods and communities across the country. Join Rebuilding Together and rebuild in your community. Find out how you can make a difference and get involved at rebuildingtogether.org.
It's time to bring beauty back in your next project by Seeing Red. Born to beat the elements, Western Red Cedar is awesome for outdoor rooms, decks, fences, pergolas, and more. Inside, Cedar's a sweet choice for hope chests, highlight walls, and woodworking projects, big and small. Stable, chemical-free, and safe, Cedar's a natural choice. So bring beauty back to the yard and punch up projects inside the house. For more information and ideas, see red at WRCLA.org.
And you're back inside My Fix It Up Life, and we're rocking it demo style.
We are. We're kind of having a spectacular day right now, and I'm kind of inspired to pick up a sledgehammer.
I'm kind of inspired to do what I call the Pearson Pry.
And I think, I feel we were having a little technical difficulty here with our hearing. So now we have our travel headphones.
These are ARP headphones.
Yeah, they're for
so in case
people that have special needs like us. But I think it's actually appropriate because if we're demoing, we need to be protected.
You gotta have good protection. We actually got a good question about that, which we'll get back to in a minute.
We will.
I don't want to keep our guest and dare I say our friend Chris Lambton languishing, waiting around for us to get him on to talk about backyard, outdoor demo.
Wait, I gotta say something. You're either in a hotel right now or you have decorated your house in hotel style.
You know what? I love hotel rooms. That's why I'm here.
So you just rented one for this conversation?
Yeah, I feel like the acoustics are really good in the hotel room, as is the lighting, obviously. So it's perfect.
Well, I appreciate that you're not in the bathroom. Or, I think it'd actually be funny if you were on the elevator and people were getting on and getting off. You're like, hi, ma'am, I'm just talking to my friends.
Just seriously, how disgusting would it be if you just trolled out in your hotel bathrobe out of the bathroom with your laptop? Just, you guys, am I on? Whatever.
It's Hotel Crashers.
Where are you, man?
I'm in Sacramento. I just wrapped up a yard crasher last night. Starting another one tomorrow. So, I'm right in the middle of demo. I was pulling splinters out of my hands all morning, so I'm good to go now.
Okay, so you're on the road all the time now with yard crushers. I'm just concerned about your wardrobe because I'm sure you get dirty every single day and it's disgusting and you're not home. Are you actually using the hotel laundry service that costs $50 to clean your underpants?
Yeah.
$7 for a pair of socks? Really? Laundry? Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Do you just go to Target or something on the way home and buy new clothes?
Are they all brown because they're just going to get brown anyway?
It's cheaper to go to Walmart and buy a 20-pack of socks for $8.99 than it is to launder one pair of socks at a hotel.
That is so true. That is absolutely so true.
So when you go home, because you're New England Yankee, you're frugal, you literally own 4,000 pairs of socks.
And Peyton is like,
oh my God.
Are you putting on a sock puppet show? Is that your new show that you're doing?
Honey, we're insulating the walls.
You got a little cray-cray.
My socks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yard crashers. You're crashing yards all over the place. And we're talking about demo. So let's talk about heavy equipment. Let's talk about what's your favorite thing to drive to do demo.
Well, you know what? To pick up from what Jason was saying, so 2 days ago during demo day, swinging a sledgehammer for about 5 minutes, drenched. What a good workout. I'm not Jason Cameron buff yet. Dude, I'm working on it.
Well, that'll get you there. That's what he says.
Yeah, he works working out with the sledgehammer before he even did the show. I can carry it around, but that's it. That's as far as I go. I can pick it up.
About sledgehammers. I was just doing that an hour ago.
But everyone has a name for their sledgehammer, right?
I don't know. I believe I do. I don't know if Chris is actually named Sledgehammer.
Hold on a second. Someone named Taylor Swift just said hi to us on Google+. And now I'm going to think that it is Taylor Swift. Yeah, and the haters are going to hate. That's just how they do it. So, yeah.
Teresa, you just got to shake it off. Right?
Yeah, just shake it off. I mean,
as far as I'm concerned, Taylor Swift is here right now getting ready to do a concert.
Because there aren't more than one Taylor Swifts in the world.
No, and no one could adopt that profile with, say, a Google profile.
I do have to say, though, that twice, actually in one night, people thought I was Katy Perry. And one woman, I think she had so much to drink that she leaned over to me when I was leaving. She's like, tell John I said hi. It's like, I will. John Mayer. Yeah, totally, I'll do that.
Yeah, Chris, in case you're not keeping up on your... I will send you a subscription to People Magazine.
Yeah, we're going to have to get up on that. Who's dating who's prego and stuff like that. You got to know.
You got to know that. Otherwise, you can't crash yards. You can't go to people in the home center and strike up small talk.
All right.
Hi, it's just me and my camera crew.
So
What's wrong with your house?
What's your favorite driving tool to demo?
My favorite demo tool?
No, the one that you have to put the keys in the ignition for.
Like to drive. A bobcat, skid steer, excavator, some...
Skid steer. I mean, hands down. How much fun is that? Whenever I get to drive a skid steer, it's not work. You don't have to pay me for that. That's just fun, you know? And, Mark, like you said, you don't use your head for that kind of stuff. You just drive around and knock stuff down. That's the beauty of demo.
I love that. When I drive a skid steer on a demo site, if I have to go to the bathroom, I just drive in it. Just smash through the wall. And then, of course, you want to be classy, so you don't move it. And then you pull back out after you're done. That's the beauty of it. Perfect. Done.
I am so glad that I'm always around when you're working because you would have been arrested a lot by now. Like a lot.
Okay, let's Chris, and I'm just going to say let's try.
To talk about demo.
Let's try to be somewhat serious.
I want to learn from Chris because he's probably made over more yards in the last 2 months than we have in our lives. So.
I swear you were about to say he's probably made over 300 mistakes on this episode of...
No! Chris knows what he's doing.
No, but it can get away from you,
He
Chris.
comes from a family of landscapers. Like, you know, they have a family tree and it's literally... their family tree.
The E-tree.
Yeah. So I love demo. I've done a lot of demo in my life, and especially the last couple of years with HETV. And, you know, just like anything else, you make mistakes with demo, and you learn from them.
So Chris, maybe a mistake or giant mistake that maybe you've learned a big lesson from. Or witnessed happen, but not you. You know, skid steer in the bathroom.
All right, so I got a couple. Don't you worry. Big mistake is, well, so you always call dig safe first. Always. So call dig safe. We're in a backyard, demoing everything. You know, we got to clean slate it. The previous homeowners did their own gas lines in the backyard, which are not on the dig safe when they come and check out the yard. So we're hitting something, and I'm like, yeah, it's not, we just hit it out, you know, it's probably just whatever. Next thing you know, you see like this water bubbling. I'm like, why is that water bubbling? That's weird. Gas line.
No!
Shut it down. Running out of the yard, turning off the gas. Yeah. So even when you're trying to be safe, you never know what, you know, the weekend warrior who owned the house before has done in the yard, whether it be a dry well from a washing machine. I've seen that. They run their own, instead of putting it into the septic, they want to save money. They dig their own dry well for their washing machine, and you hit that. Not on any plans. So it's kind of fun to see what people have done in their yards or buried in their yards.
So from that, it seems like there's more opportunity for surprises when you're demoing a yard than inside of a house.
Oh yeah, you're like an archaeologist. I feel like, you know, back down, finding stuff.
Have you found stuff like, I'm trying to think of some items that I've found, like old whiskey bottles,
rare coins,
soda pop bottles, that kind of weird stuff?
Yeah, you know, I found a lot working on the Cape. I found a lot of really cool old glass bottles. So you go on Google, literally find out, you know, this bottle's made in like the 1800s or something like that, worth a couple $100. I have a whole shelf full of like those old, I think they're like medicine bottles back in the day, you know?
Yeah, or like they're brown, they're like like that green oceany kind of color.
Yeah, and they're really thick glass.
Yeah, those were made by Christopher Columbus.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. No need for Google, Chris. Chris Lambton.
we've Mark.
DIY Network Yard Crashers.
We don't need Google anymore.
Talking about demolition. You don't need Christopher Columbus. If you have any other ones, just you let me know.
But apparently that's like his retirement fund is like digging for bottles, right? We don't need to save money, Peyton. We've got all of these bottles.
We've got all of this old glass that's old and stuff. Yeah.
Good luck. retirement, Teresa.
I'm the MyFixitUpLife business manager. I'll have you know.
Okay, I want to talk about like common surprises that people aren't really ready for, and when you're doing a backyard, when you're ripping things up, you're trying to take away all the old stuff that's not growing, and like what are things that people really should do to get ready for that so they don't hurt themselves and they don't make a bigger mess?
I think just planning. When you start doing demo, it can get away from you. You might think that you're going to just do one little piece. 3 hours later, your whole backyard is torn up, and you're like, what did I just get myself into? So have a plan. Stay small at first. Do one little area, and then branch out. Because you might think, like I said, 2 hours in the backyard on a Saturday turns into a 10-week project, and you are just like, what did I get myself into? And then you got to call in a professional, and you're $10,000 in the hole before you even know what happened.
Okay.
I have a question for you. One of my favorite things to think about.
Oh, it's me?
Well, of course it's you, but I mean landscaping-wise and demolition DIY-wise and stuff like that. Not that my life isn't a train wreck. See how I brought that around? Storyteller, babe, right here.
Oh, I'm like sitting at your knee right now.
So on Yard Crashers, and so two-part question, Chris. Part one.
Two-part question. Oh.
Two-part question. Part one. Sounds like. Wait, that's a movie. Anyway, it doesn't matter. On Yard Crashers, do you guys have like 40-yard dumpsters out in the street to take away all the trash? And for a homeowner, do you recommend, or should they get a dumpster? Should they like get a pickup truck? Rent something,
or those bagster bags? Kind of thing.
So depending on the size of the yard and the accessibility, usually we'll have a 40-ton dumpster for just demo stuff, and then we'll have a 10-ton dumpster if we're going to start breaking up concrete. Because usually you can't mix concrete with the dirt, the brush, everything else. So if you're going to be working in your yard and you're doing concrete, get a small dumpster first. Because if you mix things in the dumpster, you'll get charged a ton of money because they'll dump it out, they'll spread it, and they'll take all the parts away. So when you order a dumpster, be sure you know what you can and can't put into that dumpster. Otherwise, you get charged a ton.
Wow.
I do have to say, though, that Sandra, who's Sawdust Girl, is going to be on in a little bit. She just tweeted us, and she actually says she'll volunteer her yard to you if you would like to do anything there. I just want to mention it because she's watching, and she's like, you know what? I will totally love that. So speaking of like crashing people's yards, and we just have a couple minutes left, but you go into home improvement centers and you are like, hey, wanna blah blah blah, what are you doing today? So what is like the craziest person that you have run into in the last few months? Like where you're just like running away and you're like all the producers like, come by, save me from this person.
The reaction alone is gold. You don't even have to answer. We'll just sit here for another minute and a half and just cherish
the ridiculousness we don't see.
So, like, I'm walking around Lowe's in New Orleans 3 weeks ago, trying to find people, and I'm just, after a while you start getting bored. So I'm throwing toilet paper through this goalpost that they have set up. I'm just like gunning it, just having fun.
Totally makes sense.
This lady comes up to me and she's like, Yard Crashers? I'm like, yeah, this is Yard Crashers. So I jump into her cart, just having fun, and she literally just takes off with me out the store. Like, she's not stopping. She's going at like full speed, so I can't even jump out of the cart. So I'm like, I'm going to just take a digger and like hurt myself. So she like takes me to her car. Like, the producers are like running like after me, like, lady, stop, we need him. And she's like, nope, I'm literally taking him home with me. Like, I don't know if she knew that you can't just take me home. Like,
you're not one of the rolls of toilet paper?
I went to Lowe's today and I got one of those guys from the DIY Network. He's in my trunk.
Chris Lambton, DIY Network. Follow him on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, watch his show.
Don't put him in your trunk!
And don't put him in your trunk. We'll be back with more My Fix It Up Live! What's up?
Looking for a no-hassles roof for your home? Da Vinci Roofscapes offers affordable slate and shake roofing tiles that add long-term beauty to your home. The synthetic Da Vinci tiles resist mold, algae, fungus, and insects. Backed by a 50-year warranty, Da Vinci roofs are fire-resistant and made to withstand severe weather like high winds and hail. It's no wonder thousands of homeowners have chosen Da Vinci slate and shake tiles to not only protect but enhance the beauty of their homes. Learn about award-winning Da Vinci products at DaVinciRoofscapes.com or call 1-800-328-4624. Rebuilding Together believes that everyone deserves to live in a safe and healthy home. For nearly 25 years, Rebuilding Together has provided critical home repairs for low-income homeowners in need. With support from volunteers and skilled professionals, Rebuilding Together affiliates complete 10,000 rebuild projects every year, working to revitalize and stabilize vulnerable neighborhoods and communities across the country. Join Rebuilding Together and rebuild in your community. Find out how you can make a difference and get involved at rebuildingtogether.org.
And
you're in it.
Yep, MyFixitUpLife.
You're in it. No intro. You're in it.
Mark's got his dance groove on. I think he got that from Sandra over the break because she was rocking out.
She was killing it.
Yeah, killing it. But we're talking with Alison,
What's
who
up,
we completely admire, respect, and sort of like.
And she's flanneled out today.
Yeah. How are you, Alison?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We are doing fantastic because we're having a wonderful time talking to wonderful people, and we're so lucky we get to do this. We're very lucky.
Including, and not limited to, herein under forthwith you.
And if you go to Alison's website, and I always forget it because it's an acronym for Your Handy Woman DIY. Yes.
Correct.
YHWDIY.com. And, you know, the stuff that you have on there is really inspiring. So I like it.
I'm in. I'm all in. What now? We're talking about demo today, but let's back it up a step. Let's back up. What are you working on in your life? What's your project du jour? Something you're working on that you're enjoying quite a bit. It doesn't have to be right this second.
Yeah. Well, I purchased my first home, so I haven't slept because all I want to do is do stuff to this place. It's like the best thing I ever did. It's the coolest thing owning a house. I love it.
That is so awesome. So you have basically the whole house to do everything you've been dreaming about doing.
I don't have to get permission from anyone. I do whatever I want to do. It is amazing. It's not good for your sleeping, though. I literally don't sleep. I spend all night in the garage. I love it. Love it.
Wow. Now, what kind of... And I'm a total geek for the fixer-upper house, so I'm going all the way in. What kind of shape is it in? Like, is it old? Is it broken? Is it, did it used to be a crack den? Like, where are we?
No, it's actually not that bad. It's an average person who doesn't really like to do handy stuff could probably be fine in here. It'd be great. But it's just so plain. It's a very plain house. It's a clean slate, blank page. So I have to really dig down deep into my creativity to see what the heck I want to do with this thing.
That's so fun.
Nice.
So what's on the list?
So, the first day the hot water heater went. So that was great. I had to reroute all the lines because I wanted my washer and dryer next to each other. The former owner, I don't know where they put the dryer. It must have been in a different part of the garage. So that was a whole day of fun, running gas lines. And then I just built a coffee table. I did an awesome pallet wall. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but pallets are free, and they look awesome. So I spent a couple weekends finally putting that together. It looks great. And my next thing, I'm kind of getting into furniture building right now because I am too cheap to go out and buy it. So
yeah,
I love that.
That is awesome. But I want to know what you're teaching at school right now.
School is very exciting. I currently teach two different engineering classes. I have one it's a public school, and we're doing whirlybirds. It's a helicopter toy to teach the kids why things fly. And I teach them Bernoulli's principle and why things fly, and they have to create these wooden, I guess, the helicopter toy is the best way to describe it, and then we have a competition who can fly the highest. That's my small little project going on there.
I love those things because you do this with your hands and you let it go, and it, right?
It's one of those?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you teach them Bernoulli's principle with a piece of paper? Do you do that trick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do that. It's fun. They actually, once I tell them why things fly, some of them are kind of like, oh, man, it makes me more scared to go on a plane because it's such an easy concept.
I get it, except that I don't totally understand. It makes no sense to me. Like, it shouldn't work that way.
If I had a whiteboard, I could totally teach you it. It's a very simple concept. You just need to be explained. I can explain it 100 different ways. So.
That's good. I'll need 117.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about demo, and I want to know what your favorite either demo tool is or like your pet peeve. I guess both. I want to know both. What's your favorite demo tool?
Definitely the Salvo, without a doubt. My students right now, my other engineering class is a 19 girls, and we are. They have to design and build a chicken coop. 7 groups, 7 chicken coops. They get $100 budgets each, and we went to salvage yards on Friday to pick up stuff, and just yesterday we had to get everything all organized and start tearing pallets apart, and the Salvo, they loved it. I mean, I had a girl came out with blisters. She was loving it. So,
nice.
I think you should do everything with.
I am a little bit kind of jealous because you said 18 girls?
19 girls, 6 boys.
I was in engineering classes in high school, and I was usually the only girl, or there was one other girl with me in my classes. So how awesome is that? That it's changed, yeah.
And in my 10 years of teaching, majority have been boys. So having a class of majority girls, I had to actually teach different. It's a lot different than teaching mostly boys. It was like I had to learn how to teach girls.
That's funny. Wow.
Great, and now they're loving it.
So I'm taking away from this is boys are stupid.
No, boys are nice. But, we only have like a minute left, but I want to ask you, like, how many of your students recognize you from the All-American Handyman show on HGTV? Did any of them?
In the beginning, tons of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But now, since it was so long ago, I'll show it in class sometimes, and they love it, but half of them don't even know it's on TV.
Oh, that's really neat.
It's sort of the way that kind of thing is. What, you're not on right now? You don't even exist to me.
Well, I can imagine, like, their parents would come in for, like, a conference and be like, you're that girl! Yeah.
You're on the Mike Holmes?
Yeah.
You're teaching my child? Oh, wow.
You taught Mike Holmes? I never saw it that way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we only have a few seconds left here.
Yes, we do. We wish we had more time with you. We'll have to have you back because you're spectacular.
You are spectacular. Want to talk about furniture, pallets, and running gas lines. And I want to see some changes in that new house. In the meantime, we got to go. We got to fly, actually. Can I do it?
So, go follow Alison.
My plane crashed.
Follow Alison on Twitter because we do. And check out our website. We will be back with more My Fix It Up Life.
Add more curb appeal to your home.
Create a memorable entrance with Therma-Tru fiberglass doors and 5-pond synthetic trim that won't warp, crack, or rot.
And give you those rich details that make your home a showpiece.
Make your great entrance by visiting thermatru.com and 5pond.com.
And you're back inside My Fix It Up Life. We're talking demolition. We're talking sawdust. We're talking with the Sawdust Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Swift has clearly checked in on our Google Hangout.
Yeah, because she wants to know what Sandra has to say.
She does, but I don't want to ignore Jesse Strausch any longer.
Wait. Yeah, quickly.
Who posted a question, and Sawdust Girls. Are you Sawdust Sandra? Sawdust Sandra?
Whatever.
Whatevs.
Anything, everything you want to call me.
That's how we do it. That's my hashtag. When sledgehammering, asks Jesse, I know a lot of debris is flying through the air. Is there a way that you prevent those hazardous materials from being inhaled? Yeah.
Wear a mask.
We're all doing this.
Yeah.
We're all doing this. There are a couple of other things that you can do. First of all, and I won't go too crazy on this. I'm going to write a blog. I'm going to write a blog on this. I don't want to let her go too long. I'm going to write a blog on this. But if you've got lead paint in the air, you do one thing. If it's just regular dust, a box fan in the window might help. Or the Build Clean HEPA filter that we just got here for a forthcoming Fine Home Building Magazine tool review.
Okay. And go to MyFixitUpLife.com.
And go to MyFixitUpLife.com.
Because Mark's going to write a long blog. But I want to talk to Sandra.
A long blog. Sandra, you do.
So what's your favorite thing to do?
Stop over-talking me.
You're talking too much about whatever. She's right here. I want to chat with her. She's lovely, and she's got a nice dog.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just making that noise while you finished talking.
Oh, yeah.
What?
So what are you working on? Because you always have, and your Facebook page is loaded with projects. You're always doing shop organization or coffered ceiling, crown molding. You always have. Maybe you should build a doghouse.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Where did your sound go?
Ah!
Turn something on. Oh, you lost the call.
Oh, we can see you, but we can't hear you.
Watch this.
Well, you know what?
Let's 1 second. She can call back in.
She is, but while we're waiting for that, let's talk about what we were going to talk about at the end of the show, which is who we're going to give away this awesome tool to.
Absolutely, the Rockwell Blade Runner, and we're doing a project with them.
We are actually doing a project with them, and while we're waiting for Sandra to try to call back in so we can hear her.
She's giving us the thumbs up.
We can't get her.
I'm going to send her a note.
Why? Call back.
We're going analog.
Us. Call us if you can.
Maybe she can't hear us. Aha! You are back. You're back.
I'm so sorry.
Totally fine. Well, you know, it happens. When my husband has sort of like this force field around him where technology fails around him.
It's true.
It might be too much iron in his nose or something. I don't know.
That's why they call me.
I think that I wanted to match you guys so you didn't feel dorky with your, helicopter ears on, and I don't know what's going on. But you look attractive in your helicopter ears.
Thank you.
What were you asking me?
So, demo. Let's talk about it. And I want to know,
let's talk about demo.
What do you reach for when you have to rip something apart? What's your go-to?
Jason Cameron or Chris Lambton.
They would be good. So, Alison.
Now you're talking. Thanks for at least including me as the token third guy. Yeah. He's here. I might as well say something.
I'm not sexist. I'm totally not sexist. I would call Alison if she were willing to come and help me.
I would also call Kayleen McCabe, who's pretty fantastic too. So
anybody else. I'd go grab somebody off the street. Anybody that's willing to come in and do it. I'm not picky. I hate demo. I don't know why I'm on this segment. I hate it. No.
Well, you know what? That's a really good thing. That's why we have you here, because, what are the things that people really honestly don't think about that make you hate it so much before they get started so they don't become haters?
Yeah, it's messy. It's frustrating. It's like hard work, hard physical labor. But the thing I like about demo is the possibilities the opportunities that demoing will open up. So I do it, I labor through it to get to what I want to do, but the actual process of demoing, it's not my favorite. I like creating. I'm an artist. I like to create things.
So what are you creating right now? Like, what are you working on right now? I saw that you were working on some kind of like built-in or something.
Yeah. Well, I always have 20 things going on. So I'm remodeling my kitchen still a year later. So I'm building a china hutch and building a table for the entryway, and I still have trim work to do. And I did demo this wall in my kitchen.
So where do you build all your stuff? I've seen that you have a workshop, but do you do most of your work in there, or is it like you sort of open the garage door and do it in the driveway? Because you've got dust galore in there.
I used to do it wherever I had room because I had all my tools and everything just kind of piled in my workshop. So then I'd have to, my projects, my tools, my mess would just spill out into whatever space was adjacent or free. So I took over the other garage, I took over the driveway. But I finally cleared everything out, and I built out my workshop so that it's really functional, and it will accommodate full sheets of plywood and anything that I need to do. So now I'm very organized when I work, and I'm able to work in there. But I also work in my house. I have a kick-ass dust collection system. And so I bring my tools in here, and I'll set up a work table and cut and build cabinets and put them in place right in my house.
Wow, we're going to spend the next 45 seconds that we have in this interview of me being jealous.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, no. We've got old house syndrome, and we're catch as catch can where space is concerned.
Yeah, we don't have an amazing shop, and so we're kind of a little bit jealous of everyone else.
We're a little mobile. So we're going to cry. This portion of the program brought to you by Kleenex. Kleenex for crying.
We have to go to break. So follow Sawdust Girl on Twitter, because so we do, and go to our website, too. And
check out photos on Facebook.
Totally.
Tips, tricks, and more. We gotta go. We'll be back with more My Fix It Up Life.
It's time to bring beauty back in your next project by seeing red. Born to beat the elements, Western Red Cedar is awesome for outdoor rooms, decks, fences, pergolas, and more. Inside, cedar's a sweet choice for hope chests, highlight walls, and woodworking projects, big and small. Stable, chemical-free, and safe, cedar's a natural choice. So bring beauty back to the yard and punch up projects inside the house. For more information and ideas, see red at wrcla.org. Sanding walls before you paint? Do it the Hyde way, not the hard way, with Hyde's dust-free sander. Attach to your wet-dry vac and go. No drywall dust on your furniture, no tough cleanup when you're done. Buy online at Amazon.com.
You know, you are inside My Fix It Up Life, and I love that sort of tribal thing that's going on there in that song.
They'll get after it.
The pub song. It's kind of really awesome song,
yes.
Actually. But you know what is also awesome is this tool that we're giving away, the Rockwell Blade Runner X2. And we had some good tweets, and let me read a couple of them really quickly because I want to shout out to Tool Snob. And he's saying, ever use the indexing flat bar? So great, so versatile. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Tool Snob is serious, man. That guy, you got to check out his website, or their website. They're great over there.
I don't know really what this means, though. You will, Mark. Toolbox Buzz says, talking about the BFH.
BFH? I'm not sure about that one.
I'm not. Oh, I might be swearing at someone. I have no idea what that's an acronym for. Yeah. He says it's an overused tool.
But, quotes Spider-Man, which is really all I care about.
What?
With great power comes great responsibility. That's Uncle Ben, Toolbox Buzz.
So, you know what? My favorite, though, and we have to give this Blade Runner
only have
to
a
this
little
one
bit
person.
Of time.
Because, Sawdust Girl, I'm sorry, but I heart you in a way that is crazy, because when you tweeted us, it said that you wanted Jason Cameron to come over and do your demo. Yeah. I agreed with you. And then you invited Chris Lambton. And then you invited Mark. And then you invited Alison or Apollo.
And Kayleen McCabe.
Everybody that could possibly come over. So I think that that's who we're giving it to. Congratulations!
You rock it, Sawdust Girl. Show it, don't stow it. That's a good rhyme right there. So we'll be back with another My Fix It Up Life. But check out our videos on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook,
Twitter, Instagram, all the friendly places in the universe, and go to MyFixitUpLife.com and check back in for another episode of
My Fix It Up Life.
It might be first date on a city street. It might be a kiss that brings me to my knees. It might be initials carved into a tree, and I'd like to wait and see.